Right, you're looking at the football judgment, right, as we're going through this. And, you know, Clemson's 6-1 against teams over 500. Alabama's 6-2 with teams over 500. They've got the 2 close losses. Obviously, Alabama does. And then that game against Notre Dame, that 35-14 game, continues to be part of the discussion. You look at Clemson defensively; they got some dudes up front that are making plays and doing things. And,
all right, hang on one second. Hold on. I'm not going to shoot the messenger here because I don't believe it's Boo Corrigan's fault. But if you're going to punish Clemson for losing to Notre Dame by 35-14, right? What are we supposed to make of LSU on their home field? Look, do I have the score right? They lost 40-13 on their home field.
I think there's something about the ACC.
What do they have? What do you look at when you look at LSU's schedule and you go, great, that's awesome. They beat Alabama. That was a good win. Ole Miss, by the way, hasn't beaten a single team all year. Ole Miss and Penn State are the same freaking team in different conferences. I got news for you. Neither of them any good. They beat Arkansas. Congratulations. UAB. Awesome. You're going to whack Clemson because they lost to Notre Dame 35-14 on the road, by the way, and not even pretend, number one, that the Tennessee game happened, and then number two, they have a common opponent. And I know I'm not supposed to be screaming. LSU lost to Florida State.
But it was in the beginning of the season.
I don't care. Okay. You have to judge the whole season.
You do.
We have to get out of this mindset because if Tennessee loses this week, move Tennessee wherever you want to move them. Tennessee's 9-2, Alabama's 9-2, LSU's 9-2. Tennessee beat both of the other teams. I just demonstrated. Not only did they beat LSU, they murdered them in broad daylight. Okay? So you don't even have the right 2-loss team in the number 5 spot if that's the way you want to go.
So what, at the core of it, do you feel like it's a SEC issue where SEC is always going to get the upper hand? Like, what is the real? I don't think you're mad at LSU for real. Are you mad at the committee?
No, I'm mad at the explanation that Clemson's loss on the road is somehow more damaging than a 40-13 home loss against another team who's in your group, essentially. So one of your peers.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, by the way, at 15, is also one of Clemson's peers.
Yep.
And
Clemson has beaten every single team in their conference, and decidedly so. They figured out have ways to win. But is it because Clemson is not winning sexy anymore? They're not dominating.
That's got to be part of it.
And I think that the ACC. I don't think people look at it as ACC is getting better as opposed to Clemson is getting worse because they're playing closer matchups. And I think that's a nod to how people view the conference.
In my opinion, Clemson's biggest problem is not losing to Notre Dame. It was playing Notre Dame. What I mean by that is in the years, Clemson made the playoffs 6 years in a row.
Yep.
In all 6 of those years, they had an SEC opponent that they played early and that they beat. And it was on the strength of that win, either over Georgia, Auburn, Texas A&M, that they made the playoff because they could shut everybody up. They could shut all of these conversations down by saying, we took on your SEC, your SEC savior, and we beat them.
Yeah.
So this is frustrating. I also get frustrated by USC. I watched the game against UCLA. We don't watch a lot of Pac-12 football on this side of the world. I get that. UCLA is a really good team. Really good team. And USC is like an all-star team.
They are, truly.
They have players from Oklahoma. They got players from Oregon. They got players from Stanford.
Pittsburgh.
They got a star receiver from Pittsburgh. Yeah. Okay? So it's frustrating to me to hear Boo Corrigan say, well, this loss is why we have Clemson where we do. But we're ignoring the loss that LSU had, not only to Tennessee, but to Florida State, which would give you a point of comparison. I know LSU is not – if LSU loses to Georgia, obviously they're not going to make the college football playoff. If they beat Georgia and somehow get in over those other one-loss teams, which they were – this is setting them up to do that.
Yeah.
because Georgia's not going to be left out.
Yeah.
They'll be in. I don't know.
They're not going to beat Georgia. So we don't even have to worry about that. We don't have to play scenario in that regard. They're not beating Georgia. There's just no way.
I hope you're right. I'm going to try to find my sanity.